Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be talking all about the January blues, which is a real thing. I've never really had it that bad before, but for some reason this year, I think I'm just tired. I'm more tired than I've ever been in my entire life. I don't know why. I think because December was such a full month. It was so busy. It was so fun. There was lots of parties. And then it's like over and you're like, cool. Well, now what? So I did wear a bright pink shirt to kind of boost some radiance today, and I want to talk to you a little bit how I'm beating the January blues and getting back into a routine and staying focused after the festive season. So the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of sleep, and I'm going to do a whole video all about my sleep routine if it's not up already, so that'll be coming soon, or it might already be up. We'll see. Sleep is the most important thing to me because I struggle so much with sleeping, and I find that when I'm in a good routine and I'm sleeping a lot better, then my whole life just kind of falls into place. So I also wanted to give you a quick little update on the Bose Sleepbuds that I've been using for about a month now. And if you remember when I first mentioned these, it was in a vlog from New York. I was just kind of talking about what these are and what they do, and basically I just love this like slidey case. Basically they're little earbuds that you put in your ears, and they don't play music, they play tranquil sounds. So if you're a fan of like, you know, a river sound, a soft jungle sound, a fire sound, you know, things like that, then you will absolutely love these because you just take them out of the little case. So you just pop them in your ears like this, and here they are. Modeling. There's also a little app that goes along with it that I showed in my previous video. So you just go on the app and pick which sound you'd like, and it just plays those tranquil sounds that really help you to relax and fall asleep. These aren't noise canceling, but they're noise masking. And honestly, if I'm putting these in and I'm about ready to go to sleep and I put these in, it's just like, you just kind of forget about all of the kind of stuff around you, and it just helps you really focus on these calming noises. When I mentioned this for the first time in the comments, a lot of people were like, how do you sleep with these in your ears? Is it comfortable? And yes, they're super comfortable and they're really flexible. So everything on them is just kind of like soft and really kind of forms to your ear, and it doesn't actually feel uncomfortable in any way. You almost forget that they're in. So I have been absolutely loving these. Just keep them charged, and I keep them by my bedside, and there you go. Tip number 2 to beat the January blues is to get some fresh air, go outside, feel the breeze a little bit. I think you'd be surprised at how much it actually helps. Luckily, I have a dog, so it forces me to go outside and walk him every morning, and then at lunch, and then at night, and then before bed. So I always try to get a lot of fresh air. But even in the middle of the day, because I work from home so much, I try to like take him outside and just go get a coffee and go talk to people. And I think just getting fresh air and getting away from your phone and getting away from the internet is so helpful to just kind of like reset and refocus and give yourself a little time to just switch off and breathe, and then come back to your desk or whatever you're doing and just focus. It might seem like such a little tip, but actually it makes a huge difference. So if you don't have a dog and you're like, well, I'm not just gonna like go walk around outside, you should give it a go. The next tip to beat the January blues is something that I've been trying to do, which is journaling. You might have heard of a book called The Artist's Way. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before on the internet, but it's a really cool book, and it talks about something called morning pages. It's basically the idea that you wake up every morning and you brain dump, which basically just means you sit down and write a certain amount of pages or a certain amount of time and just go blah onto the page. And then you get rid of the page afterwards, like you don't keep it. And I heard that's because if you keep the pages, you're subconsciously holding on to what you're writing instead of just releasing it. Writing can be a really interesting way to clear your mind and reset yourself every single day. And you can literally write anything. You can just be like, I have nothing to write today. I don't know why I'm doing this. Or maybe some days you're gonna have a lot more to write about. And I think sometimes it's really good to confide in a journal rather than a person, because you can just be totally free and totally yourself. And if you're throwing the pages away afterwards, you don't have to worry about anybody ever reading it. So I've been trying to write a lot more, and I'm just writing for myself. I'm not trying to like, you know, become the next Rupi Kaur or anything like that. Although, God, I wish I could. But yeah, I've been like trying to write a few poems, and I've been trying to mostly write in my journal about, you know, how I'm feeling or what my goals are and things like that. So writing is a really good thing. And I make so many to-do lists, and I'm constantly writing stuff down. Yeah, I would be interested to see if you guys are also journaling or what you think about journaling, and if you find it helpful at all to beat the January blues. I want to try to keep it up all year round. That was one of my New Year's resolutions, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna just try to do it for January 1st. So I hear a lot of people talking about, you know, new year, new me, healthy eating, working out. I'm gonna go to the gym 5 times a week. I'm gonna only eat kale and all this other stuff. I am not gonna be doing that, but I am going to be trying to commit to working out on occasion, which maybe doesn't seem like a real resolution, but my whole thing is to try to be as active as I can. And I don't like to stress myself out about it. I don't like to put any restraints on myself. If I feel like working out, I'm gonna work out. If I don't, I'm probably not going to, but I'm going to make a conscious effort to try to move my body. And I also want to try to do more interesting workouts and try things that are maybe a little scary to me. Like in December, I did a boxing class for the first time. That was kind of scary, but really fun. And just try to get out of my fitness comfort zone. But I'm not trying to like count calories or anything like that. I'm just trying to maybe get a few more vegetables in there and try to work out, you know, more than once every 4 weeks, because November and December I was really slacking. I'm trying to kind of get back to that. And I think moving your body and getting that heart rate up, it can only help things, and it's such a great stress reliever, especially because I don't know about you guys, but I sit at my desk all day long pretty much, except when I'm walking my dog, and I just think it's so good for your mind and your body and your soul to move around a bit. Plus I love doing classes because it's in a community setting. So I always feel like that's a really good kind of social aspect as well. Speaking of resolutions, I have made a few goals for myself. I love New Year's resolutions personally. I don't know why they get such a bad rap, but I really love to make goals and resolutions and revisit them throughout the year. And I've made this resolution so many times in my life, and it's to learn how to cook. Still haven't really done it, but I think this year could be the year. I really want to. This is really like the first time I've really kind of wanted to learn to make just a few things. So I ordered a slow cooker, and I think in general just picking up a new hobby can only help with the January blues because the weather is dark, it's cold outside, you don't want to go anywhere. So if you've got something at home to focus on, like for me, I'm gonna try to learn how to make a stew or like a different type of chili or something like that, then I think it's just like great to focus on something like that. Plus then you get to eat the food. I mean, the last tip I have to beat the January blues, this is gonna come as no surprise, and that is to pamper yourself. Now, some of you guys might know this. I have demolished my bathroom. I haven't personally, but I hired someone. It's kind of weird when you think about it. I hired someone to come and like ruin my apartment. So I got rid of my bathtub, and I have not had a bathtub for like 5 days. And I am struggling so hard because that's like my happy place, but it's gonna be worth it when it's done. You can follow the journey on Instagram, #ELRenovates. Anyway, even if you don't have a bathtub, pampering yourself is so nice. Is there anything better than a Netflix binge session and a face mask and all of that stuff? No, there's not. Doing something like that really helps beat the January blues because you just feel so good. And then you wake up the next morning and you're like, my skin's looking awesome. I'm feeling great. And it really, really helps. Anyway, I obviously do struggle with depression all year round, but in January it's extra brutal. Everything is gonna be fine if we just stick to the tips. We're gonna make it through and try to have a more optimistic outlook on January. January gets such a bad reputation. It doesn't have to be all bad. So the weather is a little gloomy. We're all a little sad after the holidays, but hey, we can learn how to cook and we can also pamper ourselves. So that's kind of great. So that was my video on how to beat the January blues. This isn't really a tip, but I think like wearing bright colors also helps because it's just, it kind of uplifts you and it's like, okay, summer's just around the corner. Of course it is. It's almost back. I'd love to know your January blues tips, how you're getting through it, what you're doing, and if you learned anything from this video, I'd love to know. And let me know what you think of the writing thing as well. If you guys are journaling, I'd love to hear about it. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.